What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Cloud Space with Siba. My name is Siba, and in this particular video, I will be building an ECS cluster. I've had videos before where I talked about, how ECS works. I've done a video on how I would personally architect a production-ready ECS cluster, and in this video, I'm pretty excited about this because we get to actually build one, and we're going to be using Terraform. Now, in case you've missed the previous videos that I've done, I'm just going to show you quickly. Just close that. So if you look at, this is the diagram, but I would again advise that you go back to one of the videos somewhere on my channel. But essentially this is what we're trying to do, right? We're going to build out the VPC, we're going to build out the load balancers, we're going to do the cluster itself, and at some point we're going to start looking at the services, and specific to the tasks, we're going to look at how we integrate ACR into the workflow, CloudWatch, SNS, and all of that. But to kick things off in this particular video, I'm going to start off with simply setting up the file structure, and then most likely in the next videos, then we'll start to actually build each of the modules and start deploying the infrastructure using Terraform. So let's actually do that. Let me just get started here. So what I'm going to do is let's create a new folder. Let's go to the desktop. Let's go to Siba. Do ECS. I'm just going to create a new folder here, and I'll call it ECS product. I guess, yeah, prod cluster. It's fine. Doesn't matter what we call it. Then I'll say select. Fantastic. Right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to set up the file structure for our workflow. So I'm gonna have modules, and I'll talk about what each of these is gonna do. So we're gonna have modules. We're gonna have let me see. In fact, let me just do modules for now, and then do main.tf. I'm gonna do variables .tf. Now this does assume that you've worked with Terraform before, because I'm not gonna really be doing the any basics at all. I might here and there, but not fully. And then I'm going to do backend.tf. Yeah, right. So modules essentially, that's where we'll kind of like do sort of like a generic set of resources. We're going to put together a generic set of resources that give us an output. So for example, a VPC, we'll make sure that we group certain things together to give us a VPC that we'll then use in our main.tf file. I'm just trying to think if I'm missing anything here. No, it looks fine. So in terms of modules, we're going to have a VPC module. So if you look here, we've got a VPC here, so we'll have a module for that. We'll have a module for the application load balancer. We'll have a module for CloudFront. We'll have a module for ECS. And then we'll have a monitoring module as well, which will have CloudFront, SNS if you want that enabled and all that good stuff. So we've done the VPC, so let's go back in. Then we'll do application load balancer. I'll do ECS. I'll do another one for CloudWatch here. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna do one called workload. I'm gonna do ECS workload. Now, basically here, what I want to have is the cluster itself will be separate, and then the ECS workload will be sort of like a construct by itself. And what I mean by that, things like the services and the tasks will kind of like exist by themselves, and anytime we need to create a ECS either task or service, and therefore tasks, we'll reference the ID of the cluster here so that we have them as separate entities. Yeah, so I think that's the setup. Obviously, for modules in Terraform, we want to have the module, the main.tf, we want to have the variables.tf. What else do we need to have? We need the outputs as well. All right, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy these over to each of these folders here, because essentially they'll all have the same structure. Yeah, I think that's it in terms of, I think what we might as well need to do here is let's at least do the provider stuff. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna say provider. All right, I'm gonna do Terraform. I'm gonna say required providers. Say AWS, which is going to come from HashiCorp /AWS. Right, cool. Then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say provider AWS, cool, and then we'll have to choose a region. I want to come back with that. I need to think about it but yeah, that should be it. But essentially we can have in our locals here, what I'm gonna have locals and I'm gonna have region, right? Yeah, I think let's just do US West. That would be Ireland on London. Okay, cool. Let's do that. And then if we go back to the backend stuff, sorry, the provider stuff, I'm just gonna do local.region here. Okay. Then what else do I want to do here? I'll do the backend probably a bit later. Yeah, we'll set up the backend in the next one. And then we'll tackle the VPC as well. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video where we'll work on setting up the backend for keeping our state, which will reside in S3, and then we'll set up the VPC as well. All right, thank you so much, guys.